Hi, today I wanted to talk about the difference between toxic shame and healthy shame. And where does toxic shame come from and what do we do with it? So, the first thing to identify is what is healthy shame? So, healthy shame, what it would do is instead of identifying with I am bad, because your actions don't make you who you are, the behavior or the interaction was not helpful. And from that place, it then guides us to self correct and to make amends, to take responsibility, to make amends, to adjust. That can be helpful. Toxic shame, on the other hand, generally comes from painful emotional experiences in childhood and teenagers. So it can be from your family, it can also be from peers. I don't know if you remember middle school, probably pretty bad. What happens is we internalize others' criticisms and judgments and rejections, and then we identify deeply with it. So, a person with toxic shame is often caught between two extremes. One extreme is I am worthless, I am the worst, I'm a bad person. uh, and with that place, there's not really anywhere that you go with it. So it's not like it leads to real changes. And what you'll notice if you have toxic shame is that even when you meet whatever you think would make you better, like you get that degree, you find that relationship, the toxic shame is still there. You still feel like a bad person. The other extreme is a person feels highly superior to others. They feel entitled. So people with entitlement actually have toxic shame because there's no place in the middle which is healthy shame. So someone with toxic shame, they ebb and flow back and forth. Some tend to stay in one, but people I've worked with toxic shame, they tend to go back and forth depending on circumstance and triggers. So what do you do with that if you have toxic shame? The first is developing a sense of safety within. So oftentimes, because toxic shame comes from painful external experiences, we're kind of trapped in this subconscious pattern of seeking externals to validate us. So, unconsciously or subconsciously, we actually tend to pick friends and significant others that carry a lot of the same underpinnings, and then we have the same experience over and over. And we want desperately for them to finally validate us, but they're not capable of it. So we have to move our attention from trying to fix things externally to what is safety internally for me? What does that look like? It doesn't have to do with if someone does this or thinks this way or my life goes this way. What does inner safety look like? Another piece that you can work on with a therapist is how do I identify safe people? So, if a lot of your life has been unsafe people and you keep finding more of those people, part of it is you're not able to clearly identify and move away from the red flags and identify what safe people look like. Because maybe you clearly identify everyone in my life is not safe, but what does safe people look like? Why do I keep going back to the same unsafe people and want something different? Another piece that can be helpful in terms of healing toxic shame is developing distress tolerance skills. So, this is related to dialectical behavioral therapy, and what it looks at is life is distress. We need to learn how to tolerate it instead of running away from it. So, many people, that's what they do. Pain comes up, they blame. That's a form of running away when you blame others because your pain is coming from inside. So it also is helpful to differentiate between inner problems, which is our feelings, and outer problems, which you can address outside of you. So I hope that that's helpful to lead a general framework. And if you see yourself in toxic shame, I really encourage you to seek help with someone that knows how to work with toxic shame because you can actually make huge life changes if you get the right kind of help. Thank you.